A very good morning to you and welcome, Matt. Good morning, Kenya. This is Entertainment Thursday, but today we are doing things differently. Before we get into the entertainment part, we want to talk about matters youths. And today we want to focus on youth political participation and decision making. There's a new segment that is going to be very informative, and especially for the youths, especially when it comes to matters inclusion in governance, politics, and decision making. So it's going to be a very interesting conversation. And in studio, I'm joined by Darren Hart, who is a member of, who is a council member of Tukutuke Movement. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Unaendelea aje?
Naendelea salama kabisa.
Yes.
Thank you.
And also we are expecting to be joined by Kilonzo Mbuvi, who is a governance analyst, and also Wainaina Gishere, who is a student leader at the University of Nairobi. Well, sasa, situanze na magazeti.
Okay.
The Standard, front page here, wanasema, face off. This is between the President and the CS for Public Service. That is a Public Service Cabinet Secretary, Justin Muturi, skipped Tuesday's meeting with his handler, saying he wasn't properly invited. However, Secretary to the Cabinet is having none of that, saying that he absconded the session, and indication of deep cracks in Kenya Kwanza government. The Star, on the other hand, is saying... There's a headline on the Star. Ruto bill to unleash EACC on graft loans, allow some search without court order, corruption cases to be concluded in 6 months. That is a page that you can read on page 6 of the Star. 84 CEOs and political bigwigs stare at job losses in new reforms. Killed in 21 days. This is the story that is carried on the front page of the Daily Nation. A 34-member task force has been formed to combat the rising cases across the country. Darren, just want to get a feel, Jaco, especially kwa historia CS Muturi na Ruto. Unaona ni nini inaendelea kati yao?
Okay, according to me, this is just exposés. You know, politics is a very interesting game. Politics, there are only two constants in politics.
Yes.
That of betrayal and interest. According to me, this is just the normal, perennial politics that we've experienced in our country. According to me, when I see Muturi and DP, the president not going in one line, and you know, cabinet is like one family. And when you see that division, and just the other day, the president met the former president of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, and we know that Uhuru Kenyatta is very close to Justin Muturi.
Yes.
According to me, that is just a game of cards. And it is just the strings being pulled here and there. And you can find that there is an interest for him and even for his people, because what I see here, he just wants to be told that step down, Mr. CS. We give somebody else, then he goes and plays on politics to gain sympathy.
So kulingana na hii ni siasa.
Yeah, this is politics. Very interesting.
Na kuna issue ya parastatals, some are being scrubbed, kuna zingine zina majiwa, because wanasema there are those that have duplicating roles. History yote tumechelewa kuifanya ama this is the right time kuifanya?
I think it's never late to do something, so long as there will be fruits at the end of it. So we don't know if the role is to merge the two or maybe three.
There are some that are being merged, and there are some that are being scrapped off.
Yeah, so we don't know if those that are being merged, they have a certain interest, you know, maybe to scandalize or to bring other people, to give them jobs or something like that. But if it's for the will of the people, so that we get more money to fund education or maybe health sector, that's a good thing to do. It's never too late.
So it's on your part, it's a good move. It's a cost-cutting measure.
It's in the middle.
In the middle.
If the move is to make sure maybe we have enough to save for the lives of Kenyans, then I support it. But if the move has an interest of maybe some key people to be given positions there, to go and squander the budgets so that people will run away with billions the way we have seen before, then I don't support.
Kuna issue ya nini? Kuna issue ya femicide cases zimekuwa on the rise, and wanasema hapo they have formed a 34-member task force that has been formed to combat the rising cases across the country. From your standpoint, unaona ni nini inaleta hizi mambo?
Okay, according to me is our security systems. You know, we have one of the best security and intelligence systems. And sometimes when you hear about these femicide cases, and some of the cases are not being answered, or maybe the traces of where this story began, sometimes it worries, because we need to be sure with our security systems, from NIS, DCI, the police. What are they doing when these things, when people are being, our female people are being killed, you know? We need to get answers, and this informs the security systems from the top.
Yeah.
You saw the Justin Muturi speaking of abduction of the child, of his son, who is 50 years, although he's his son.
You never,
you're still a son.
Yeah.
So when you see a person of that stature who has the ability to call the president to ask for the safety of the child, who is 50 years, I don't have a problem with that.
All right. Okay.
What about me and you who cannot call the president? So the security systems need to be strengthened.
All right. Okay. We are also joined by Kilonzo Buvi, who is a governance analyst. Karibu sana.
Asante sana Mike, how are you?
I'm very fine. Unaendeleaje?
Yes, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Tusalimiaka kwa hewa.
Yes.
Umetupata katikati ya ku just talking about the headlines.
Yes.
And for purposes of fairness, I'd want you to get your just a feel of what you feel here. The day standard here is a photo of the president and public service CS, that is Justin Muturi. They're saying it's a face-off. Our public service cabinet secretary, Justin Muturi, skipped Tuesday's meeting with his handlers, saying he wasn't properly invited. However, secretary to the cabinet is having none of that, saying that he absconded the session and an indication of deep cracks in Kenya Kwanza. Daily Nation iko na story ya femicide hapa, 21 killed in 21 days.
Wow.
Na kuna task force imeformiwa hapo. The Star wanasema hapa Ruto's bill to unleash EACC on graft loans. Ndio na history hapa. CS Muturi na President Ruto. Kwa maoni yako sasa.
You see, we are, and thank you first for this, and we are talking of everything now. You see it from the angle of politics. It is all about realignment for 2027. And most of these realignments, you'll see, they will happen before May. Before May, by the time we are getting into June, there will be a lot of formations ahead of 2027. Because 2027, you have to really align now. Because next year is 2026, then from there, we hit the campaigns. So there is nothing much. This guy, Mr. C.S. Muturi, is just looking for a way out. And, you know, you really have to do a lot of things, a lot of drama.
Yes.
In the former cabinet meetings, was he invited? He knew it is his duty to go there. What kind of invitation did he want? He's saying, he's alleging that he was not properly invited to the meeting.
Yeah.
On the others, did we ever discuss of him attending the other cabinet meetings? No. So when you look at it, he's looking for a way out. And for me, I would just honorably tell him, please resign. Yeah, just resign and, you know, get into whatever formations you want to get to.
Yeah. Kuna hizi cases za femicide zenye zimeanza kurudi na unakumbuka last year zilikuwa zimeenea nini. But then again zimeanza kurudi. From where you stand, what is the cause of
femicide issues? Maybe we talk of them of being in the rise. They have been there.
Yeah.
For me, I'll go back to the family unit. And family units, these things, there's so many of reasons why there are those family femicide issues. But again, at the family level. That's where we should really work with the stakeholders. We are talking of the church, we are talking of the counseling departments of our different levels. Yeah. So for me, before we even get to the security, to the police and all that, yes, they should play their role. But to reduce them, we should go back to the family level. What are the values of our society? And then one of the things that could really be affecting those things is things to do with the economy, maybe. Yeah. Disagreements at the family level. So we really need to look at what is the role of church into it, what is the role of religion into how we are bringing up our children, you know, how are we informed in matters, relationships, in campus, all those things. It's a myriad of so many issues. But for me, let us go back to the family values before we go to the police. Again, but the police should really play their role into every case you investigate, you go down to the matter.
Oh, yeah. Now, let's get into today's conversation now.
Yes.
We're talking about youth political participation and decision making. Now, acha nianze na wewe Darren. From your standpoint, youth have the youth now been they have become vocal, but will this catalyze into them being included in political environments, positions, and decision-making tables?
Okay, this thing of decision-making tables has been said for so many times. Yeah. I've even had some great leaders like Babu Wino saying that young people must be on the table. Yeah. And if they're not given their share on the table, they'll break the table. And so many other people, they have said that. But today, when I was coming along the road, I realized that young people, we don't need to be on the table. Yeah. Because I've realized that when food is served on the table, some of the food is eaten in the kitchen. So there is a call for the young people to join the kitchen so that when the food is on the table, we get the equal share. You can be on the table, get the share, but already the food was eaten in the kitchen. Oh. So according to me, the young people, we started very well, but the problem is because the division is there. Yeah. Already, you find people like Casmuel, people like these of Inject Party, exchanging words, which means the old guards, they have seen a loophole. Get this one, they will start fighting among themselves, then the force behind the Gen Zs and the youth will be weakened. And now the perennial perpetrators of impunity will continue to do what they do best.
Kilozo, nataka kujua.
You know, all of us have grown with the stories of youth. Yes. We are the leaders of tomorrow. And now we are in the tomorrow.
So this is the tomorrow.
We are in the tomorrow. And I want to really thank the Gen Zs and the millennials of this country. Since 24th of June last year, there is a lot of change. And the conversation has really changed. We have disrupted the political terrain of this country. We have disrupted the status quo. And the old guard, like I said, they must go. They must go. Because long are the days when it is only a certain clique of politics or politicians who should form the leadership of this country. We are tired of the politics of the day. We want leadership. Issue-based leadership. Personally, I participated in that clarion call on 24th June. I was on ground, and what we were pushing for example, you remember that time was the finance bill of that time. Yeah. Because there were so many clauses inside there that they were not favorable to all of us. And since that time, a lot has changed, and we must really focus on having the youth on the table, like I said, in the kitchen. We must get into the kitchen. Like, for example, who is the Minister of Sports and Youth in this country? It's not even a youth. It's not even a youth. So we really need to continue putting pressure so that we get these people out, and we also have our space inside there to lead. We can be you can be the finance secretary for finance. I can be the finance secretary for something. We have the capacity. We have what it takes, and we continue keeping that force and pressure so that we even become the president and the leaders of the day, and we discuss the Kenya that we want.
So your idea is you have to get into the kitchen now. Prepare the food.
Yes.
and be part of the serving.
Exactly.
And be part of the...
In fact, I really want to thank the Eject Party. Those are the parties of the young people. That is our party. And we must be very proud of Morara and the likes.
But kuna swali niko nayo.
Yes.
Between, a day in politics is like a million years.
Yes.
Your momentum. Nini unaweza ingia? Unaweza kama. Nini hiyo momentum? Wainaina Gishere is joining us
Yes,
Good morning Kenya. Karibu sana. Tunaongea mambo ya kuingia kitchen, kuprepare food, but acha kwanza but kuna kitu nataka uniambie. Momentum. Nimesema one day in politics is like a million years.
Yes.
Your momentum ilikuwa last year. Youth. Because they are talking about governance, finance bill and all that. Is it possible we maintain mpaka 2027?
We are maintaining it, and if you look at it very well, there has been a lot of intrusion by those who have been the status quo, the politicians, who thought that we are going to keep this clan of the tribal card.
Yeah.
Because every time we try to bring change, they bring the tribal card. I belong to this particular community, we ni mtu wetu, and all that kind of nonsense. So when we disrupted that status quo from 24th June, you have seen online, we have kept the momentum there. You have seen the disruption that is happening on X. And it is a good thing. So they have tried to come in, to try to disrupt who is like the leader. Because we really tried not to be leader, to have a leader. We try to be leaderless. We try to be partyless. But again, you cannot fight those politicians when you are not in a party also. So there's a lot of dynamics. We are growing into all these dynamics. We are growing into all these perspectives. We are also gaining our ground, and the momentum is there. Online, they have tried to bar us from doing the demonstrations, but demonstrations will come back. It is our right to do it.
Okay. Karibu sana Wainaina Gishere, a student leader at University of Nairobi, and also a council member at the new funding model review committee. Karibu sana. So we are talking about matters, political involvement and decision making for the youth, and he has said something about having a political party. Kukuwa na chama ya siasa, is it the magic wand that will get the youth into leadership position? Ama it's a matter of kukuwa na ideas fiti na kukuwa na leaders?
I believe having a party saisi, it is not that important. And you've seen what it has done. Look at Morara before he formed Inject. Morara was a whole movement, but he didn't understand how this movement is. The youths right now don't want things to do with the parties. We don't, personally, we don't trust parties. We don't trust the whole ideology behind parties. And I don't think for us to capture power, you will need a party. We've seen the youngest MP who was voted in 2017, who was voted in as an independent candidate. Absolutely. And for us to say that we need a party to gain power, we'll be lying to ourselves. Yeah. But if we come up, what we need right now is a form of a movement. You understand? Where we have the ideologies, everything. How will we do it? You understand? But coming up with the thing of parties right now, I don't believe it is a wise move. Yeah. And when you look at even the general mood of the country, the youths, look at Kasmuel. Kasmuel was a big movement before he joined ODM. Look at Morara. Morara was a very big movement before he joined ODM.
But at that point, can I also ask, is it good maybe, or is it wise we do have two fronts? We fight the battle in two fronts. Maybe we can maintain the movement. We can also have the political parties. Because again, that is the nature of where we are. We need a political party also to gain power.
Yeah. Okay, Darren, is it a must to have a political party to have the youth coalesce around, let's say, mtu young kama wao? Is the party the magic wand?
Thank you for that question. And this story is very interesting because one of the problems of our country is the parties. There is no party in Kenya that has an ideology, that believes in a working, verifiable ideology. all these parties that you see, ODM, UDA, I don't know, Musalia Mudavadi's party, they merged. These are parties that protect the founders' allegiance, you know. When I want to join ODM, the first person that comes in my mind is Baba. When I want to join UDA, I see Mr. Ruto. You see? But there's no ideology that will inform my decision of joining a party. So those parties and young people, it's good that you've called young people in this discussion, because most of young people, they suffer in party primaries. You go to nominations, if you don't have 10 million, 5 million, you cannot be given a ticket. And so we need, even the young people, we need to say no to parties. We only vote.
On the flip side, my brother.
Just wait, let
him finish it.
Let me finish my point first.
Okay. Let him
take it slow. Take it
but there's
slow.
a flip side. There's a flip side of that.
Let him finish his point.
Okay.
In Kenya, we don't have a party with ideology, with an ideology. And as young people, because we are the majority, we can say no, we are not voting for anybody from a party. Come out of that party. If we like you, sign our pledge as young people that you'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because we have the numbers, we can vote you in, because it will be very easy for us to put you to account. Nowadays, people are elected under parties. They go to parliament not to represent the people, but to represent the party owners, what they want to push in government. You saw how the finance bill was. People are voting opposite with what people want. Just because me, I'm an ODM, this vote must go this side. I'm an UDA member. So when you go to inject party, the way he said, you'll be voting for Morara, what Morara is saying.
Okay,
You see,
and the same party he called inject party, they don't have an ideology.
Okay.
Listen.
Be that as it be.
They say that they are accountable, they are transparent. That is not an ideology.
Be that as it
That's
may.
balderdash.
Oh,
you see,
to that.
the partyless,
Okay.
the partyless, the leaderless, they also have an ideology, right?
That is where I'm talking about independent.
Good. Then, at the end of the day, in whichever formation you are going to find yourself, you may call it a party, you may call it a movement. But you see how the government dealt with us. We called ourselves partyless and leaderless, but they also became very wise. You guys are calling yourselves partyless and leaderless. We are going to deal with you. And they have dealt with us. They have ensured that there is no demonstration in Nairobi.
Do you know why they have done that? Do you know how they have... Wait. Do you know why they have done that?
Listen to what I'm saying.
They took Raila Amolo Odinga to their side.
Yes.
They went and talked to people like Asmuel to join ODM.
Yes.
But we were very powerful without a party.
We need to disrupt that status quo in political parties. We need to have political parties that are strong. Look at the Republican. Are they not bringing a change in America? Are they not making America great again? Look at the history of Republicans in the Americans. These guys have brought a fabric of development in America. Look at a country like South Korea. We have a political party there. That has brought a lot of changes in that country. We compare ourselves with Singapore. How is Singapore today? There was a political party in Singapore that was sitting on real issues on their economy. So in this country, what we need is, yes, we need to organize ourselves into our movements. Call it inject. Call it whatever you call it. But we need to be on the ground, on the real issues affecting the ground. For example, we are talking of the university, the funding model. Whether you are in a political party, whether you are in a movement, we need a working model for our young people, right?
Okay, but
okay, you respond to that, then I.
What the current mood in this country? What we want is change. What we want is change. And number one, if we go the party way, we'll vote 2027 a uniform vote. You'll find what happened. For example, my home county, Nakuru. They voted from the president to the MCA, UDA. They don't believe in whatever other thing, what the candidate stands for. They just vote for the party. And that is where we go wrong as a country.
Okay, be that as it may, Wainaina, is it time now that the youth have felt left out in politics, that sasa wameanza kuona they want to take a stance on this and try to change things from your own perspective?
I believe that is what has been happening. It is a known fact that for a youth to stand in a party, the chances of you being at the ballot, it is very low, very low. And that is why you find all these old men in our parliament, because they have already, number one, for you to have that ticket, the nomination ticket, you have to bribe someone. you are asked for maybe a bribe of 10, 15 million as a youth. Unatoa happy.
In fact, to become any electoral position in this country, you need a lot of money.
Okay, let's take a breather. Let's take a breather. We go from there and come back. No. Let's take a breather. Let's take a breather. Good morning, Kenya. Continue shortly. If you're just joining us, this is Good Morning Kenya's Entertainment Thursday, and henceforth we are going to be doing it differently. Before we get into the entertainment part, matters to do with youth and politics, governance, tutakuwa tunaongelelea hapa. And in studio I'm joined by Kilonzo Buvi, who is a governance analyst, Darren Hart, and Wainaina Gishere. So there's this issue of youth getting into elective politics. You are addressing it. Continue on that point.
I was saying, number one, we've made it so hard for a person under the age of even 40 years to have an elective position because of the one thing on parties. For example, it is very hard, very difficult for you as a youth to be elected as an MP in Nyanza region without the support of ODM.
Exactly.
It was very hard for you to be elected as an MP in Mount Kenya region in 2022 without the support of UDA. And by that, the parties have made it like a business. For you to be nominated, for you to have that certificate of nomination, you'll have to bribe some people. And we've even heard of those people who hold those positions saying the certificates are only awarded to the boyfriends and girlfriends and some friends of those politicians.
Yeah.
So for a youth who, for example, someone like me whose father is not known, whose mother is not known, doesn't have money, it will make it so hard for me, even though I have a plan, even though I have everything that it takes to lead a constituency or a ward. Very hard for me to be elected. And that is one thing that we have to condemn in these parties. So number one, for us to do that, we have to do away with all the whole ideology on parties. If parties worked, then the ideology that ODM stands for, then a person who stands with ODM to be elected in Nyanza, no, in Mount Kenya, should be elected. But that is very hard for it to happen. Why? The other thing, parties have become very tribal. Yeah? You'll find that all UDA, most of the people in UDA are from Rift Valley and Mount Kenya. You'll never find, it is very hard for you to find a person in Mount Kenya who is in ODM. So we have made it very tribal for the thing on parties. It is very tribal. And one thing that the Gen Z movement stood for is being tribeless and leaderless.
Okay.
So that we can achieve the whole thing on change.
Okay, acha nikuulize hii swali. Being tribeless, leaderless and everything else. Can the youth wanaweza coalesce behind a figure, a leader, the way they are, without a party, and make sure that they are decisive when they are making or they are voting?
Okay, I'll answer that question from this angle. The youth with their numbers can easily elect someone to win in the morning, 6 a.m. But now the problem comes when we have personal interests. You know, leadership is a calling. When you see somebody saying that I want to vie, I want to be the president, I want to be the MP, I want to be the MCA, and it's not the voice of the people, you should be very skeptical. It should be the people bestowing power to you. And the problem comes when these youth, who are vocal, who are known, they say they want to vie this position, that position, and the political elites are watching. So they approach these people individually. And those people, because they know they can easily be removed because they don't have the numbers, they bring division among the youths. And that's why, just recently, you saw Morara Kebaso and Kasmuel exchanging words on social media, on Citizen TV. They were not agreeing, and simply because they have different interests. This one has joined ODM, this one has Inject Party, Darren is independent. I don't know my friend which party he supports. I don't know which party he supports. So at the end of the day, the votes will be divided. But if we maintain unity, because as young people, if we don't wake up, nobody will change our country.
So the question here, Kilonzo, is how do we sasa hii unity that Darren anaongelelea, how do we maintain it given that we are now in 2025 na elections are in 2027?
Unajua wanasiasa wanataka tukae tukiongea story ya unity, leaderless, partyless. Wanataka sana tukae kwa hiyo story. Because listen, what happened in 24th June, let them just flash us back, was a very good thing. It was a revolution. And you know, revolutions, they are about something. So we progressed very well. Finance bill was rejected. Sawa. Though I hear in the corridors of power, inakuja tu clauses pole pole. So that was a good thing, a revolution. We achieved that. But again, like when you started, you asked about momentum.
Exactly.
Sawa.
Yeah.
So EU partyless, that revolution was towards something, was a clarion call towards something. We achieved that. But now again, this is my proposal. If we want again to ascend to power there, yes, it is not a must we go with a party. But we should look at the formations that are there and we agree on the issues that are all affecting us. Because whether you are UDA, whether you are ODM, the things of health are affecting you. Ukienda pale hospitali hata kuna madawa, they are affecting all of us. Unga, kununua unga, sisi wote inatu affect. Si ni ukweli?
Yeah.
So unless now we sit down with, is it him? We sit down, whether you are independent or whatever, we sit down and we agree on a charter. So that the momentum does not die. And there are also results on the momentum that when you are sent to power in 2027 and you are the president, then this is our charter. We agreed on this on health. We agreed on this on agriculture. We agreed on this and this and this. Now, should you go there and not do and perform on these issues, we are going now to reject again the movement. You did not do A, B, C, D. Can we remove you from power? Because like I said, youth, we have the numbers.
Yes.
And we have, by the way, we can decide the future of this country. We can be the Singapore we want. We can be the America we want. But it comes down to us. We cannot sit down here and continue saying, sisi ni partyless, we leaderless. Watago wajanja, na wanashia wago wajanja.
Is whatever Kilonzo is saying true? And in all this, civic education, because last year kuna civic education ilikuwa ina happen online. Is it possible what he is saying, and what is the role of civic education in all this?
I believe civic education is very vital in this movement. Because number one, ukienda uko mashinani kidogo, you'll find that most people back aside, they believe in the whole ideology on parties, the whole ideology on we have to elect our people, my tribesman, my brother, and even though the person doesn't have any ideology. So as he has said, a time will come when this nation won't be divided along tribal lines, along political lines. The nation, maybe if possible, let the nation be divided along ideologies. Along ideologies. Come with your own ideology. This is what I want. This is the model, the university funding model that I am bringing to you. Then I come with mine. Then you come with yours. Then the nation will compare and contrast. And then they'll say, I think this is better, and will vote for you so that you can implement your own model, which we think is very good for us.
Okay. Now, can the youth, because tunaongea mambo ya kukua kwa governance on the decision making table, politics, elective posts and all that. Now that tumekuwa, the youth imekuwa sasa vibrant in terms of how they are doing, getting into matters governance, how are they going to change the mindset of the older generation now, the millennials and the others? How are they going to change the mindset to ensure that in 2027, for instance, the decisions that are made at that point are sound?
Already what we did on 24th June, they changed the millennials and other older people thinking, because they realized, oh, these young people can do anything, you know? Because when we were there demonstrating, you could not tell that this is a Kikuyu, this is a Luo, this is from Nyanza, this is from Coast. We were one. And so what we need to do, and this will be my suggestion, forget about parties. This one I'll continue. Yes. There are good leaders who are elected before to go and join parties. But when you reach there, UDA, it has its own boss and its own structure internally. If you go against them, maybe you are representing your people, they will summon you internally. They will even give you letters of disciplinary, and even they'll tell you to resign. And so, my thinking will be, when we say we are leaderless, we can now add independent. Just as he said, you come with your own manifesto and ideology, and you tell us that you want to vie for this position, whether you have money or you don't have money. This is what you believe, this is what you will do, and this is what you will deliver. And if you don't, you sign our pledge. Like in Tugutuke, you've seen I'm a council member for Tugutuke.
Yes.
Tugutuke was started by young people who felt voter apathy was growing in Kenya. And we came together to think on how we can put this country to straight, to make sure that things are working, because people are now not going to vote because there's no need of voting, because you vote somebody, that somebody goes to represent another individual who has his own interest. And so, when you look at the survey that was done, for you to vie for member of parliament, you need at least 35 million, because it's like bribing the voters. You know, that is the money that will help you maneuver so that you win. Do you think you've spent over 30 million, over 35 million, 50 million to win an elective post? Do you think when you spend that money, you will deliver to the people? You will not. Of course, you will go to serve your own interest and to serve the interest of your party leader, so that next time you will be given a nomination. So we need to say no to political parties, yes to independent candidates, bring ideologies, continue with the...
Can I interject? Can I interject with your permission?
This is how it's going to, because for the interest...
I want to interject before it evaporates. Yes.
This is how it's going to happen. I'll give you 1 minute to respond to that.
Yes.
And give your closing remarks, because there's something I want us to do.
Yes.
Kabla tumalize. DJ anaweza kuwa anaingia hapa.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
DJ
So,
stand up.
what if what if tunge what is that, the name of that?
Ingia tu.
Tungutuke.
Ingia.
What if now that Tungutuke grows to a political party from the demand of the members? Pause there. So what if it grows to a political party because of what they believe in? So the problem is not really the political parties. For me, the problem is our moral fabric.
Yes.
We are so used to corruption such that if I want to become a member of parliament today, I know for sure if I have 5 million and I take it to the party leader, Nivo.
Yeah. Okay.
Kabusi.
Oh, all right.
So for me, it is the moral
that.
values.
Still on that.
Okay,
Yes.
tufanye hivi. I'll take that as your closing remark.
I've not yet closed. I'm not yet closed. Let me close by saying this.
Close.
Let me say by close by saying this. We need to have the movement very lively. We also need to discuss on how we are going to ascend to that power. Is it through political parties? And then, as we discuss about the two, we also need to look into how we think, how you know, the rule of the law, corruption, our moral values.
Yes.
Because again, if you have a good moral value, a Kenyan here cannot break a traffic law in America.
Yes.
But when they're in Kenya, they can overtake, they can overlap, they can do that. But when they're in America, so it comes back to our moral values.
Our moral values.
Yes.
Darren, tufunge.
Okay, to me, moral values, we have the moral values. We have good people in these parties. We have young people in parliament. Do you know that? People like Sifuna, Babu Wino, we have so many young people, but they are not performing because they are zombies. Parties have made them to be zombies. They can't do anything outside their mind. You have to speak what your leader says. And that's why I repeat, parties will make us to continue languishing in poverty.
Okay. Wainaina.
I believe Tugutuke, what the youths are doing right now.
Yes.
I am also a member of a movement called Mwanzo Mpya, and you are saying mambo yatabadilika. And indeed, yatabadilika. Just wait and watch. Yes.
Okay, all right.
Mwanzo Mpya inaweza grow ikuwe party.
Sasa,
a time will come. A time will come for that.
All right. Unasikizanga muziki gani? Unasikizanga muziki gani?
Okay. Kai.
Unasikizanga muziki zote?
Willy Paul.
Okay, tutafutie Willy Paul hapo kama uko nayo. That is what I wanted. Tunaweza simama. Yes.